Hey everyone, either welcome back or welcome to my channel. And in today's video, I want to do one of the videos that I had mentioned in my IIH awareness video for the month of September. And I want to get into one of the biggest questions that I have for researchers researching IIH. So before I get too far into the video, time for the intro. Hey everyone, my name is Ashley Stewart. So 2018 was actually a pretty hard year for me, but it was also a pretty good year too. So I completed my bachelor's degree in biochemistry, but at the same time, I was also diagnosed with a rare condition called idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. Some of you may also know this by its older name called pseudotumor cerebri. So, if you're curious to learn more about what it's like to live with this rare condition, then I encourage you to watch on. Don't forget to subscribe, and I upload new content every Monday and Thursday afternoon. I have come up with one particular question that I want to spend an entire video on, and then later on in the month there'll be another video that will have a bunch of questions that are kind of more smaller and don't require as much explanation. I've thought about this quite a bit, and it's because this is kind of the things that I think about when I'm just almost daydreaming. And I spend a lot of time daydreaming. So I want to go over one of the biggest questions that I have for IIH, and it's kind of a two-part question because I'm not sure if the first part has actually been confirmed or not. And then I have a question that goes along with that if it has been confirmed. The biggest question I have for researchers in particular is, does the pressure in our heads go up and down consistently? And if the answer to this question is yes, how does this affect the papilledema for those of us who have it, if it does at all? What this means is, I know that some people have shunts. I don't really know much about shunts other than the fact that it is another drainage pathway of fluid out of the brain that's artificial. There is a certain testing called ICP bolt monitoring pressures over a certain amount of time, and they've noticed that it does actually change. But the thing is not all of us go through this. I've never had this testing done before, and I know that it's usually done before they decide whether you're a good candidate for a shunt or not. So if this is the case, does this mean that some of us experience change in pressure and some of us don't? Or is our pressures changing but some of us don't experience a large change in pressure? Because of this dynamic, how does this affect the fluid on the how does this affect the swelling on the optic nerves, if it does at all? This could be just my misunderstanding of the physiology and what's going on with the eyes here. But the reason why I want this question answered is because I want to know how a person can have papilledema at the start. We get the papilledema under control through medication and or weight loss. And the symptoms go down to a certain point, but they're still symptomatic, which is what's going on with me. I know that the doctors have told me that a lot of this is probably migraines at this point. So, like I've said in some of my previous videos, or I guess put in the edits, because I don't know if my pressure is actually coming up and down or not. I don't know if what I'm experiencing is IIH or if my symptoms I'm interpreting as IIH because the migraine symptoms are matching the IIH symptoms. Like I said, unless I have visual symptoms before I have a headache, I almost always think that it's IIH because it's not very obvious as to which one is actually happening. Whenever I see the ophthalmologist, they always tell me, "Oh, your optic nerves look really good." And that's really, really good, but are we only getting a snapshot of what my optic nerves look at that point in time? Or is this something that takes a while to build up? I guess my biggest question is, how long do you have to have the pressure in the head before you start showing signs of the papilledema? Like I said, at the start of my journey, I started noticing that I had double vision. It was, I think it was the first full week of February. And a couple of weeks later, I had an appointment with my optometrist. And at that point, they didn't see anything that concerned them. They didn't see anything that showed signs of optic nerve swelling if they looked at it. And they did do, I believe they did do pressure tests and all that. And I don't think they noticed anything out of the ordinary, at least from what I remember from that appointment. So does this mean that the papilledema took a little bit longer to show up than what was going on? Which doesn't really make any sense to me because the double vision is significantly better since having the optic nerves back to normal. I have very rare occurrences of double vision now. So I'm a little bit confused, I guess, as to, does the papilledema take a little bit of time to show up or is it quite quick? And the reason why I'm concerned about this is something that I'll address in another video, but basically, damage on the optic nerves can lead to vision loss. So I'll be addressing this in a separate video coming up this month because it's something that needs to be known about IIH. If you guys have any questions that you guys would like to add to the video, then for sure go ahead and do that. And I think as for now, that's it for today. Bye everyone.